What's up guys, and welcome to a new video. Today's video is all about coffee and tea. I'm gonna meet Mark at Giraffe Coffee and he's gonna tell me a little bit more about these beautiful products. So see you there. Okay Mark, thanks for having us. Well, where are we at the moment?
So we're at a roastery at the moment. So we have a roastery here in Rotterdam, and this is where we work our magic. This is actually what we see behind us is the most important thing. So just like when you're a chef, it all depends on like the things that you are managing, that you manage to source. And so we spend a lot of time and energy sourcing the best quality beans that we can find. So we have a team of 3 people actually mainly focusing on sourcing these coffees, finding amazing quality, getting it here, and then doing all the quality checks that are necessary. After we start with the green coffee, we actually we have to roast it. So this is our coffee roaster. This is the thing that we actually do around here. So we have a 20 kilo roaster, or 25 kilo roaster that we roast 20 kilo batches in, and the process takes between 10 and 15 minutes per batch. As you can see, we can monitor everything on like computer screens with all kinds of probes. So every coffee that we source has its own unique like roasting profile. So every coffee has a unique flavor profile, unique roasting profile, and we determine that every time for every coffee. And we spend a lot of time doing quality checks to make sure that we are still roasting on the optimum way. So we're almost at the end of a batch. You can see it spinning around here. So this is basically just a spinning drum with a big fire underneath. Yeah. The heat comes from that burner, is sucked through the roasting drum, and that roasts the coffee from the green beans that we just saw to well, basically roasted coffee as you know it.
And it's now almost time for the drop.
Yes, yeah. So that's what we're going to see now in a minute. So after roasting, we want to cool it down as quickly as possible. So there's a big fan underneath here that is actually sucking off the hot air. So when this drops, should be right about now, you'll see that you'll see the coffee coming out like steaming.
And I think we
should move over to the bar area.
A lot, and now we'll go to the bar and taste it. Okay, so we are at the bar. Now it's your turn to
do some stuff.
Yeah.
Espressos and we start tasting, we always stir the espresso a bit to make sure that you get all the flavors in every sip. Yeah. Stir mine real quick as well. So this is especially to the coffee that we drank earlier. It has a lot more body, a lot more thickness, it's very creamy coffee. Like there's a lot of nutty flavors in it. Relatively low in bitter, but it has like big body, so yeah, it becomes like this, almost like a yeah. And if you start adding milk to this, it really becomes like a little Snickers bar almost. So it becomes just very chocolate, and with the milk, it just becomes really amazing coffee.
And next to the coffee, you have tea. Yeah.
So we also, as soon as we started the roastery, we started our search for finding the best teas to match it. It took us a long time, but we, since a couple of years, we're the importer for Jing tea. Yeah. It's a UK-based tea brand, and they basically have the same approach to quality as we have. So we asked Marloes to make some teas for us. So we just grabbed a selection of different types of teas to do a bit of a tasting. So in this case we are drinking a white tea called White Peony, Dragon Well, and an Iron Buddha. White teas are more like the freshest teas. You could almost say like the youngest leaves. The green teas are also because they're still very green, because you add the heat quickly, you kill the enzymes. They will taste very light, like very springy, very much like what you would expect from green teas. And what we're also drinking, what we're going to drink now, is the oolong tea. Oolong tea is actually teas that have started this fermentation process, but we've killed the enzyme before it became a black tea.
So this is the white tea.
The white tea,
the darkest of
the teas. So I just love drinking teas. So within the roastery, it's really like in the morning everybody's drinking coffee, in the afternoon everybody's drinking tea, and you just realize that it gives you a completely different vibe. I just really like this silky smoothness that this tea has. It has a bit of almost like a melon note for me. Yeah. It tastes like a bit, like very clean and fresh as well. So if we go to this green tea, so this is a hand-walked tea. So the interesting thing is, I talked about adding heat to tea to stop the oxidation process. There's different ways you can do this. So for example, a lot of the traditional Chinese way is to old pan fire it. So basically wok it, or use like a big drying machine to add heat to it to stop it. And for example, the Japanese use a lot more, they steam teas. So that's also adding heat, but in a very different way. So again, this has a bit more body than our previous tea, so we have a little bit more strength, even though the color doesn't suggest it. For me, the interesting thing about this tea, you can almost, if you focus on it, taste that like walking. You have this very delicate, almost like a very delicate roasted hazelnut character to it. And now we have the oolong tea. So for me, most of the time, oolong teas are the most interesting, just because they can incorporate so many different things. Because they can taste very green or very a lot darker. It's just exciting to taste a range of oolongs, because the same product can be so extremely different. So just like coffee, tea has caffeine as well. Only the type of caffeine is very different, where the caffeine with coffee is very spiky, so you have an espresso, you have a little peak, and then you crash down a bit again. Tea has a lot more slow, gives off caffeine a lot slower, a lot relaxer.
So we've tasted the tea, the coffee, we saw everything, and I just want to thank you for your time and
no worries
for having us. And shall we do one more, and then I'll go back to the office.
Let's do one more.
So this was it for today. Now you know a little bit more about coffee and tea. If you still have a question, feel free to send an email to sales@wesuppliers.com or comment on this video. I hope you've liked this one, smash the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao!